Hi everyone, welcome again. I just want to thank you guys who have been viewing, and for those who have recently subscribed, please go ahead, like and share, especially for those persons who believe that they might have someone out there who they believe something is being said that's going to be useful for them. Go ahead and share it with that friend. Okay, all right, so today I just want to talk a little bit on the topic of love and relationships, and I want to zoom in on specifically 5 ways of improving your marriage. Okay, I know sometimes it feels overwhelming. Marriage is definitely hard work, but you have to truly be intentional about that kind of a work, and ensuring that you're putting your all into it, and also, you're both on the same page. Both persons really truly want this marriage. So once you have that, putting in the work, you should be seeing some form of improvements. But I hope that these tips will be super useful for you. So one of the things that we want to do is we want to remind ourselves, remind our spouse um, of our love story. Where did it all begin? Remind yourselves of this. Use any and every opportunity to do this. Maybe you want to say, remember when we just met, or you want to ensure that you're highlighting your spouse's qualities, the things that made you highly interested in that person from the beginning. You want to ensure that on every occasion you could do that. Don't just wait on maybe the anniversaries or the birthday to do that, but you highlight the person's strength as well. And even if the marriage feels as if, I really it feels so dead, and this might feel a little awkward, you would be surprised to know that this can be a useful thing for you to do, to really resurrect your marriage. So just remind yourselves of your love story, where it began, and your qualities, and use every and any opportunity you get to do this. Okay. And secondly, we have to learn to agree to disagree. So in marriage, you're going to have ups and downs, you're going to have conflicts all the time, disagreements, of course, but you want to ensure, some things might not necessarily be resolved overnight, right? It might take time, but you also want to make sure that you're very respectful when you're having these conflicts. So no name calling, okay, no belittling, no putting the person down or things like that. You have to remind yourselves that, hey, we are in this together. We have to be very respectful of each other. We don't want to damage each other, when we're having our conflicts. And we have to come to a place when we're disagreeing on an issue, on a topic. We're saying to ourselves that, yeah, hey, we don't have, we don't share the same views on this, but we're going to learn to perhaps let it rest, or we're going to allow time to let this one work its way out. And in the process, we're learning also, we're agreeing to disagreeing on this particular issue. Okay, so that's the second tip in having a good marriage. And thirdly, we also want to spend quality time with each other. Okay, so notice that I didn't just say we have to spend time with each other. We have to actually spend quality. Okay, so that's a key word there, quality time. So it means sacrificing, taking time out, okay, of your schedule or whatever the case is, to spend time with your spouse. you know um that's where those moments are going to be helpful if you want to maintain your marriage, if you want to, your marriage to grow. Those moments of date nights, or taking your spouse out, or having a movie night at home. It doesn't have to be expensive. It has to be just something where it's thought of, and there's some quality in it. So what's her favorite color, what's her favorite cologne, what's his favorite song. These are some things you want to think about while you're thinking about the quality of it. And also, you're so intentional with this because you're planning. You make sure you're using the anniversary moments, those things, those days and opportunities that you could celebrate each other. But you could also find time away from those special occasions, create your own time to have that safe space and quality time with your spouse, and ensuring that you're highlighting their love language. So if they love that, the words of affirmation, you're going to learn to use that a lot. And while you're doing this with these moments, you're extending it to the other moments in your marriage. So that is going to be very important for the growth of your marriage. Okay, so that is the third point. And fourthly, we want to see we want to make sure that we're actually we have some goal together. What's the future in this relationship? What are some ideas that we have together that we have not even started to work on? There must be some purpose in our marriage. Why are we together? Like, what is it that we want to accomplish together? Let's talk about it. Let's plan. Let's start doing something together. It's not just talking, but let's start actively working towards these ideas and things that we were excited about when we spoke about them together. So it's always getting back to that place of discussions and actually planning together as a team. It's like we're a team together, and we have to make sure we have some ideas and plans that we want to execute. So that's another important tip in actually having a good marriage. And again, fifth, we want to make sure that we're learning the art of forgiveness. Okay, so forgiveness doesn't mean that the person did not do something wrong. It actually means you are moving on too. You're letting go. You're allowing, healing to take place in the marriage. And one of the things that we want to ensure, because we're gonna, offend each other. This is a relationship. We'll have conflicts, and because we're human, sometimes we might offend. We will offend each other, but it's important that we learn, in a respectful way to seek forgiveness. If you know that you actually offended your spouse, seek forgiveness. Ask for some forgiveness on the matter. And if you're the person who was offended, you don't necessarily have to use this as a weapon. I'm going to see how long I'm going to have him, seeking forgiveness. I'm going to make sure that he's punished. Or I'm going to see how long I'm going to have her, do things for me until I'm feeling at peace with what she did. Right. So those are, we want to make sure that, the root of it is that we love each other. So we're not trying to really, punish each other, but we're understanding that we will actually offend each other, hurt each other. So, and you might have, this might be a time that you're offended, but, maybe 3 years down the road, 5 years down the road, you might be the one seeking forgiveness from your spouse and hoping desperately that they will, allow this, actually forgive you. So, I would just encourage you, again, having a great marriage, we have to practice learning to forgive each other, learning to be humble in the process, learning to also learn from this. So, you're not going to just, if you offend your partner and, they gave you a chance, you're not going to try to do this again and take it, thinking that this is some kind of a habit that you're going to form in the relationship. So you should be actively trying to make a change. If you did something wrong, you're actively trying to show your spouse that you're changed, or you're trying to change from whatever you did wrong. You don't want this to happen again. And if there's something that's going on that it feels as if you cannot fix or you can't change, then this is where you might need to seek some outside professional support to help you through, to process, to help you to fix this one. It might be an addiction, it might be a bad habit, it might be something that's causing your relationship all the time to to be struggling through. So it's important to seek outside help if that's the case. All right, so those are some tips that I want to encourage you all on, and just to remind you of ways in which you could have a great marriage.